Hey, I was like, Betty, Miss Carter. I'm Curtis's sister. Remember we met, blah, 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 blah. So I think that's when she actually
Right.
realized that I was really serious about it. But
Yeah.
I've had this
Yeah.
wonderful opportunity to sit at the feet of the masters. You
You
understand?
really have.
I,
Yes.
and not just the vocalists, okay? Dizzy,
Mhm.
I mean, everybody, Ray Brown, anybody who was still kicking at that time, Junior Cook, all those great, Jackie
Mm.
Byron, all those great horn players that I sat in with in that first gig in New York. So I lucky that Curtis and my generation with Curtis, me, Bobby Watson, we were the generation that really got to witness all the masters who were still on the bandstand. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, of course, most of them are gone. We're still losing some of our iconic figures. We just lost Farrah Sanders not too
Mhm.
long ago, a couple of
Yeah.
weeks ago. And
Mhm.
so we got that visceral, the synergy, the in the room, the
Oh,
feeling. I
yeah.
mean, Billy Eckstein came to hear. Well, I
Oh,
don't think he
wow.
came to hear me, but he walked into the club. I was singing this club called the Grand Finale. He walked into the club, and my breath. I think I just stopped breathing. Right.
Right.
So I
Right.
think, okay, what should I sing? What should I sing? So I do Body and Soul. I do Body and Soul, piano vocal
Mm.
gig.
Mhm.
So after the set was over, Mr. Eckstein approached me. Yes, he did. I'm sitting over in the corner for the next set, waiting for my, having my little space. He walks up to me and he takes his hand out like he's going to shake my hand. And you know what he says? That handsome man walked up to me, grabbed my hand, and squeezed it and said, "It's I'm yours."
Oh, no. What did you sing?
I mean,
Oh
he
my
corrected me on
God.
the
He
lyric.
corrected you, right,
I had botched
exactly.
the lyric, okay?
Right,
So,
right. You don't even remember what you said. You don't even remember what you said. That's funny. That is so funny.
so,
But he touched you and he talked to you, so.
but those are that's cold blooded.
Oh,
He
yeah.
cared enough about the music and he cared enough
Yes.
about my effort to make
Yes.
sure that moving forward I got it right. You understand?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what's so important
Yeah.
about how we pass this music on. This is an
Mm.
apprenticeship. This is not
Mhm.
I think I want to do this in line. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna be it. No, you have to
Yeah.
be a part, you have to you
Mm.
bear witness, and you must understand that those that come before us are here to really
Mm.
show us the way. And
Yeah.
all this attitude about I got it and I learned it from Facebook and I learned it from,
Mm.
Jazz 101. Those things are great. Okay. I'm not dismissing any of the value of that. And you don't need to read a note to be a great jazz singer. You don't. But it helps. It helps
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
you fully inform yourself and not disregard those who actually have given you an opportunity to dream and live your dream. And without them, you might be able to stumble onto
Mhm.
something, but this genre of music is seriously requiring you to bring it 100% of it and to never kind of
Yeah.
we got this message that to be a jazz singer you have to scat your brains out. Okay, somehow Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong helped to qualify that part of the expression in improvisation by scatting
Mhm.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, but you better learn how to sing a song.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
all the scatting in the world and all the shooby doo bop bop, if you can't deliver that line and deliver that melody, I've worked with vocalists who all they want to do is improvise.
Oh,
They don't even want to sing the melody as it's written. From the get-go, they're assuming that everybody already knows this tune. Everybody
yeah.
doesn't know,
No.
everybody doesn't know Round Midnight.
Mhm.
You're gonna start off kind of like doing your own thing? Really? No, no,
That's good to
no.
hear.
No,
That's good to hear.
you gotta sit your behind now and just take it all in and understand the value of interpretation, understand the value of the creative. Okay,
Mhm.
but not to dismiss. If you wrote a beautiful song, Kelly, and you heard some 10-year-old come along and sing your pretty little song, and she starts out singing some stuff that none of those notes are what you wrote. You'd be like, "Oh,
Yes.
okay."
Right. Right. That's true. Yes, I get it. That's good. That's
And
good.
those melodies are hard. Besides, maybe
That's
that's why you're
good.
changing it up, because of what's really written is too hard to sing. So you
I
better
think
learn how to
sometimes vocalists think that it's boring. Like
to sing
now
what's
it's
actually written.
all, yeah, it's all about the runs and the riffs and so they feel like people don't want to hear.
I don't know. Again, this is a music that
Yeah.
allows you to really explore
Yeah.
yourself and to really create. But from what? From what is the fundamental? What is this that you're creating from? Where's
Yeah.
all this improvisation? Improvisation for improvisation's sake. So
That's
I
good.
think the composition. I will just add one more thing before we.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
the composition for me was not something I ever planned to do. Never thought I would do. This whole thing
Mhm.
of when I do my I'm gonna write my own songs. When I graduate, no. When I make no, it was never I'm gonna write my own songs. For me, my goal was to sing well, get the gigs, make records, and just cover the songbook and whatever I could sing and that I felt like I could say something. And then, and then, songs started happening.
They
All this
just
writing.
yeah, at what point did you feel like you wanted to write? I mean, that you wanted original lyrics and you wanted to
I think it was
get it down.
it was what I saw my classmates doing. It was what I saw the other
Oh,
musicians, my respective colleagues on the bandstand doing. They were
okay.
writing tunes. I was singing their tunes.
Yeah,
They have these original songs, and I learned their tunes, and I was the one that sang their song first. So
right.
I think maybe I wanted to do that too.
Mhm.
I didn't
Mhm.
really know. I mean, it wasn't the hard part. Wasn't really oh, I've got a song and it goes like this, and get a piano player to help me figure out the chords and help me write my little song, right?
Mm,
But
mhm.
when I actually had to take my pencil and that melody in my head and put it on a piece of paper for somebody else to read,
Mhm.
that's when I realized that that's a whole nother
Right.
composition and songwriting. You could just come into life and do nothing but that and never sing your own song, you know.
Mhm.
So that's a challenge and an opportunity to go one level deeper in terms of what your personal expression might ultimately be.
Yeah.
And I'm still astonished. I mean, I think I've got almost 200 published compositions now.
And you
But
won a Grammy for one of them, I know. Well, probably more than I don't know, but I know the
well,
one for Terry Lynn Carrington
yes, that
that you
that
wrote.
project won a Grammy, and I wrote "Show Me a Sign." "Show Me a
Mhm.
Sign" written. I was practicing one day in my studio, and you ever feel, with something like when somebody walks past you and you feel that kind of air, that air move.
Their energy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Mhm.
working in the studio one day,
Mhm.
and it felt like somebody had walked right by me. It was
Oh, and they
such a
didn't, you're saying.
no, there was no one in the room but
Wow.
me. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it felt like someone had entered my space. So rather than just go, oh, let's blow it off, I acknowledged the moment that it happened.
Okay.
And I
Mhm.
decided that it was my mother. I just decided it was her.
Mhm.
Because who else would be
Mhm.
with me 100% of the time and encourage me and, show me the love
Right.
and unconditionally. And so it had to be her. So
Right.
Show Me a Sign was to her. And
Okay.
that's kind of what how that was born. So it was
Okay.
one of those things where you don't go, what key do I? No, you just put your hands on the key. It just let it flow.
And it flows out. Yeah. Oh, wow. So before I let you go, let's talk about your label, Afrasia?
Afrasia Productions.
Afrasia Productions.
Yes.
Um, so you have recorded about half your CDs on that label.
Mhm.
What was it all you hoped it would be? Is it all you hoped it would be?
Okay. So since Good Morning Kiss was my demo tape that became my first album, we licensed that to Black Hawk. Okay.
Mhm.
And then my next record after that was all standards for CBS Sony, a one shot thing. And that was all standards. Okay. And then the next was an independent label called Arabesque. And that was my third project. The fourth project and the fifth project were for JVC. Self portrait. Okay, so let me see. Good Morning Kiss, Night and Day, Moment to Moment, and then Self Portrait and Old Devil Moon. So that's five, and those were
Mhm.
all on independent labels, except for the one I mentioned, CBS Sony, one shot
Mm.
thing.
Mhm.
And then so now it's like, okay, it's like I got to shop for another record deal. I got to shop for another record deal. I got to shop for another record deal. So when I did that first record for JVC, I had written for a year. I had written so much music trying to get a record deal that finally, when they asked me after I had written like 20 songs, and they were like, "Well, let's write some more," and I was like, "You know what? I need a deal memo. I need you have to. I'm not going to write anything else until you offer me something." So that's how the self portrait record got made. All those songs.
Mhm.
Now, when I turned the wonderful, wonderful, unbelievable age of you pick it. You pick the age.
30.
I look back. No, my first record came out when I was 30. But um, so so now I've left New York, I've left Miami, and now I live in LA. Okay.
Okay.
So and I look up and it's like, oh, where'd the time go? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a concert. I'm going to make a concert here I'm going to find a venue in LA and we're going to record it and we're going to videotape it. So that's what we did. But the key was to do a retrospective. So I got the guy David I told you about back in my
Mhm.
high school.
Mhm.
He played. So I got my Miami guys, a couple of three of the guys that I started with in Miami, including my brother, and my New York guys, Victor Lewis, Smitty Smith, and others, and then my LA guys at the time, and whoever was new on the spot. I think the youngest player at that time was Robert Glasper. So I
Mm.
had three pianists, two drummers, three bassists, a horn section, percussion, and guitar. Philip Church on guitar. So we do a concert in LA, all originals now, because I'm making a statement. And that record is
Mm.
called Jazz and the New Songbook. Jazz and the New
New
Songbook,
Songbook.
live at the
Mhm.
Madrid.
Mhm.
So that when we did that, we decided that to release that on our own label, Elizabeth Uy and myself. Elizabeth Uy is part Chinese and part Dutch, and I'm part African, all African or something. So hence the name Afrasia. Hence the
Okay.
Afrasia Productions.
Ah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's how that
All right.
label started. And that's how and Elizabeth Uy as a producer in her own right. And we just thought, okay, what do we do with this? What do we do with this tape? What do we do with this video? So let's just put it out there.
Mhm.
And that's how it started in 2005. And we look up and we've got like, I don't know, it's eight or seven or eight more. And we're
Yeah.
just doing, and don't ask me how the music, I collaborated in New York with great
Mhm.
people. I
Yes.
collaborated with a songwriter here in LA. So everything I do is not just me. I like the collaboration because for me it has a universal vibe in it. Well, the
Mhm.
minute you get somebody else's idea
Oh yeah.
for a creative thing, it becomes universal. Now
Yeah.
it's more inclusive as it's not just your perspective on things.
Right.
So lots of collaboration, lots of lessons learned. And then I start to pick up playing the guitar and I start to play the drums and I start to play the bass. And my home is filled with musical instruments. And I try to incorporate all those sounds in my records. And I
So
try them out first. So
yeah.
that's
So
how the
that's all
record.
you do. That's all you do is just play music. Like
And
all the
then
time, right?
yes, but I one more thing, jazz, this jazz genre has yet to find its own level of appreciation in the United States of America to this day.
Yeah.
Okay, you
I
can't turn
recognize
on you can't turn on a television channel and just say, "Oh, I'm going to check out Rhonda Hamilton tonight. She's interviewing blah 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 on the Tonight at so and so."
Right.
Okay, we
Yeah.
don't. For some reason, everybody turns their back on this beautiful music in this country, and then you have the public radio stations. And if you're going to have commercials on a jazz station, it's got to be smooth jazz. It can't be like the real shit. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what happens
Yeah.
in our country. Very, 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 very. A lifetime of trying to understand what's so wrong with it that we can't
Right.
sit alongside. So now
Yeah.
I have different interests, different goals. And sometimes I'm not working. Sometimes no one's hiring me. I have yet to play some of these festivals in the United. I've never played Newport Jazz Festival. Never.
Mhm.
Never. Why?
Mm.
Can somebody just tell me what's wrong
Yeah,
with my
that's
music?
I don't know that and didn't know that.
I have
You
yet
were you were here though, Chicago recently, right? You did
at
the
my
Chicago
first
Jazz Fest.
time.
Wow.
Very first
And I
one.
missed it. I
Very
heard it
first.
was amazing. I heard you were amazing from a very
Thank
good
you.
source that goes
Thank
every
you.
year. He loves you.
That's great. So yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
this is
Wow.
a big gigunda question mark for me still.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I haven't always worked. I
Mhm.
found a way to make ends meet. So how this artwork happened? I think the artwork happened as a way to get away from the music
Mhm.
and still have some creative outlet.
Yeah.
And when I come back to the music, I'm fresher. I've kind of worked things out. I kind of hear
Yeah.
of the things. You live a little, you cry a little, your heart
Yeah.
breaks, you fall in love, you fall out of love, all those things that happen in life. Okay.
Yes.
And that life stuff isn't always at the piano or at the microphone or at my, working on the music. Sometimes the life stuff is so not that.
Mhm.
And when I come back to it, that breath, that and
Yeah. Yeah.
so
And your art
I
is for sale on your
I'm
website.
I'm on my way. Thanks to Terry Lynn Harrington she commissioned me to do artwork for the Carr Center for her Jazz and Gender Justice,
Yes.
Jazz Without Patriarchy exhibition that opens this week in Detroit. So
Okay,
I'm going
she's
to be in
doing some-
Detroit. Yeah, I'm going to be in Detroit with other of our contemporaries expressing ourselves in what's the word? Disciplines. And two of my sculptures will be exhibited. So two of my sculptures will be
Awesome.
seen for the first time this week. So I'm on my way to Detroit tomorrow.
That's great. That is great. That's great. So let's talk quickly about this new record, Fades
Okay.
to Black. Man, oh man. I was in the floor stretching one night and I just put the earbuds in and I was listening and Say Her Name came on. And I mean, I tell you that all of those emotions they just filled me and kind of paralyzed me. I was triggered. As you were saying all of those names, of all of the victims. I hate to they're victims, but and then I realized the importance of saying them again and to keep saying them because we forget, and that's how it keeps happening. But that song and then the one with Matthew Whitaker, I'm telling you, it just melts my heart. It really does. I love it. I love the whole album. And there go my puppies.
Oh, that sounds like mine. They sound like mine.
Somebody must be at the door. Anyway, but I just want to say that it's a fabulous album. I'm going to be playing
Thank you.
on my record show, and I wish you much luck with it. And I hope you get to promote it at the Newport Jazz Festival this year.
Oh, wouldn't that be the coolest thing? I think you just might have just created that opportunity.
I'm putting that out there. I'm putting that out there. And then you have to come to Ohio. I know you.
Where are you?
I'm in Dayton, Ohio.
You're in Dayton. Okay,
Yeah.
I've never been to Dayton.
You've
I
never
think
been to Dayton. See, what's that? You have to come to
no.
Dayton or
Well,
Cincinnati or Columbus. Yeah,
okay. Well, and so
we'll
it
get you
is.
here. Yeah, we'll get
Okay.
you here.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I want to thank you so much for this time. It means so much to me. I've enjoyed so much hearing your story, and I'm inspired, and I will continue to share your music.
And where are you singing?
Where am I singing? I'm singing locally, but this is your interview, so
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
singing, I'm singing locally, and you know what? It's I am getting better. I think I'm a good singer. I took on jazz maybe 11 years ago, and just realizing the depth of it, and like you said, you getting on the bandstand and being a part of the band and not just the person that's singing the lyrics, but you know, and I've played with some great players. I mean, they are magnificent, and so I'm learning so much from them. And
Great.
so
Well,
I
keep
really
going.
am
Keep
learning,
going.
and learning how to listen and learning how to be brave, you know. So I appreciate it. I listen to your stuff all the time. One day maybe I'll be able to write some tunes too. Who knows?
Okay.
So everybody can find you at carmenlundy.com, and
Yes.
you're all over social media, and your music is in all of the right places, so they can find this new record, Fade to Black. I highly suggest that it is added to every collection, every jazz collection. And I just want to thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope
My
to
pleasure.
see you live very soon.
Okay.
All
We'll
right.
got to make that happen.
Yes, yes. Thank you. You have a good evening out in California.
You bet. Okay.
All right.
Take good
Bye-bye.
care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.